Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
Afternoon.
Are you well?
Yeah, I am well.
Good, mate. Nice to see you.
Yeah, what's been happening in your week?
Oh, just busy. You know, lots of good things happening. It's pleasing to see some good things are happening for you as well.
Yeah, they are.
Good, mate.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I've been this week. I've been mainly focusing on my my route back to Perth actually. So that's coming along nicely. I'm going to be should be over in Perth by the latest January. Just looking at some opportunities when I get back. Just preparing for my return, really. But yeah. Hey, morning, Diana.
Hey.
Morning.
It's
Hey,
a
good
permanent
morning.
visit.
Say again, Tony.
Good morning, Diana.
Good morning.
We'll give Thompson another couple of
Thank you.
minutes.
Thank you for changing the time. I appreciate that. I couldn't make yesterday.
That's okay. Tony's a very accommodating man. But,
Thanks.
What did I do?
Diana couldn't make yesterday, so we changed the time to make it more convenient for her today.
Oh, right.
But
Thank you. Thank you for that.
it's really good that we.
Not a
Thank you,
problem.
Tony.
It's really good that you guys can do that. So thank you very much. Because there's a lot of value when we share our experiences on these calls. Okay, well look, Thompson is a little bit late. No doubt he'll join us at some point. Should we get started?
Yeah.
All right, but before we do that, I'll introduce you to my children.
Yeah, please do.
I'm very proud of my kids. This is my daughter,
Hello.
Eliza.
Eliza, hello.
Hello.
Just say hello.
Hi, Eliza.
I'll tell you later. And I don't know where my son's gone to. Probably on the toilet.
Don't interrupt him in the loo. Look in very good shape, Tony. Right. Okay, so let us get started. So this week we are going to be focusing on. First of all, did you all get your workbooks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Let me minimize this for a sec. So what we are going to do this week, we're going to be focusing on contribution and giving. It's going to be a relatively short module, but I think it's going to be a very important module. When we talk about money all the time, I think there can be this emphasis on, outside people looking in when people are trying to improve their finances or improve their lives in terms of money. I think there can be this outward appearance that people that look to build their wealth or become financially free don't have a strong emphasis on others and giving and helping and sharing, which isn't necessarily the case. So as part of this program, I think it's very important to focus on how we can contribute, whether it be with our own money using the 6-account system. One of the accounts is going to be your give account eventually, or whether we give our time. Sometimes we find out going through the program, sometimes it's equally, if not more, fulfilling to actually give our time as opposed to giving money. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. If you've got your workbooks, great. You can jot down some notes. If you haven't, and you've got some paper in front of you to write down some notes, I'd encourage you to do that. And then afterwards, maybe after the webinar, you can go and download your workbook and write into your workbook the notes we've got. So look, let's get started. Great to have you on the call today. Let's whiz through the bits about me. You know enough about me by now. So some general housekeeping rules again. I see Diana's got her headphones on, which is a good idea. So find a quiet area where you won't be disturbed, as we always do. If necessary, use some headphones to reduce the noise. Commit and complete each weekly session. Well, we've been doing that with great success. And if you can, print your workbook, write your notes in there to jot down key points. Keep an open mind and ask questions. I think, one of the things for me that I've noticed about this group is your willingness to work together. The pure fact that we're changing a few days to accommodate each other is fantastic, because there's a lot of power in sharing experiences. And get involved and share with the group. Disclaimer again, all members are part of this course. Enjoy calls free from judgment. And where members are protected, these sessions are a safe place to share and talk about situations you're going through or have been through. It's important to recognize that each person on this call, each member, is going through their own individual path, and that we should respect each other and support each other on each other's paths. So the 6 key areas again. This week is the art of giving. Getting is giving, i.e. contribution. The last module on there, which we'll go through next week, are the 10 rules of wealth, another equally important module. But this week is going to be all about giving, what we can give to others. The more money you have, the more you can give to others. So as I've said here, becoming financially free is simple if you consistently apply those 6 key elements into your life. And there they are. Having a strong money mindset, managing your money, setting financial goals, looking at your circle of influence, and earning passive income. Passive income is a massive one in relation to being financially free. I don't believe that you can become financially free unless you incorporate an element of passive income into your life. Contribution, and then following a defined set of rules, the rules of wealth. So declarations, how did you do? Did you manage to do them last week? Tony, how did you get on with your declarations? The declaration we had.
Again, my declarations continue, but not necessarily the ones that come up in the program. But
Okay.
they're interrelated. It's just, yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Diana, how'd you get on?
Sorry, I don't know if you hear me. Sorry, I must be honest, because I came here in London and I don't have my desktop. I'm not organized in that way. So I didn't really manage to focus on the declaration. I, of course, focused on what we did, but not on the declaration, because, well, my days here in London are a bit hectic. So I don't really manage to squeeze things.
No problem.
Sorry.
Listen, as we said last time, I know you've got busy lives. Just try and squeeze them in when you can. But if you've been focusing on other areas, other areas that we've been doing in previous weeks and trying to move yourself forward doing that, that's still equally as good. And coming on to that, so last week's action steps, we looked at passive income, and you were going to complete your first 3 actions for investing in passive income. It needed to be something simple, something doable. And once you completed at least one of these actions, I wanted you to email me the description, or you could talk about it today. I think it would be a good opportunity to talk about it today if you manage to do it. I know you've been busy. A description of the action that you completed and how it made you feel. So how do we get on in terms of that? Let's start with Diana. I know you've been busy, but did you actually manage to do that?
Yes, because it was. Oh, sorry. Yes, because it was part of my of my work. Let's say. So basically, I put down the first program for the retreat. Confirmation from the person, then I have it basically.
Okay, that's good. You still there?
Hello? Hello?
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
How'd you get on, mate?
Mate, my action steps I did the week before, which was invest in Ethereum. and there was a few steps involved in that week to actually achieve that.
Good.
This week for me has been very introspective and shedding a lot of baggage, and it's been very painful and very rewarding. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
Okay, mate, sounds good. Well, I mean, look, you did your passive income steps. You're already doing it by,
Yeah.
which is great. And it's good to hear that you're going through some changes as well. When we have those changes in our life, it's gonna bring up some old wounds, and it's gonna be tough. And as we said before, part of that change is becoming uncomfortable. You've got to become uncomfortable before you can become comfortable. So now you're gonna feel uncomfortable. There are going to be times when you're going to be upset, and that's part of the process. And just know that it's part of the process. But I'm glad we're stepping in the right direction. So well done. So let us have a look at today. Well, as I said, there are reasons or there are results, and it seems as though even though you guys are busy, you're still doing elements of what we should be doing. So I'm sure we're going to get a lot of results. So what did you reward yourself with? Who's that? Thompson?
It's Thompson, yeah.
Thompson, hey, good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you guys? Hello, Tony.
Hey there.
Hi, Diana.
Hello.
So look, guys, what did you reward yourselves with? You've been doing these actions and moving yourself in the right direction. What are you rewarding yourself with? Have you done anything to say, great job, I'm sticking to my plan? Thompson, what have you been doing?
Oh, Tony, I try everything. The whole week up to today is hectic, but I'm doing my best. Regarding my action step regarding this passive income stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you I'm gonna look into a subletting a room or something like that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I've been looking into that. I've got someone who is coming on Monday to have a look.
Wonderful. That's a great step forward.
Yeah, and so I've been doing that, and also I have looked into the mentor thing, and then the research I say I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
With the mentorship, I'm looking at it. There are a lot of things there to do.
Yeah, very, very good.
So I'm kind of watching a lot of their videos and kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been looking into that.
Guys, how's it? Just a question from me. How's it making you feel when you are forcing yourself? Well, maybe forcing is the wrong word, but actually, actively taking steps to push you in a direction that you may not have necessarily thought about going before.
Can I answer first?
Tony, do you want to answer that one?
Well, at times, I think I've already sort of said it. At times, I've been in the depths of despair. I've been in the last several weeks crying and literally, despair. Just well, how else do I put it? Walking through the shadow of death, more or less. And but at other times, but once I release the shit and really release it, just feel it emotionally and just go with it and just follow my intuition, and at the end I come out and I'm just beaming and enjoying my children and looking at the world differently, and wow.
Wonderful, man. Wonderful. Diana, how have you been feeling doing these things?
I've been feeling like proud of myself, like finally.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in fact, like my own reward was like allowing myself to even have a coffee with a friend, or just watch a movie without feeling guilty that I had to be working in that moment or things, because once you know that you did what you had to do, then you feel like, okay, now I can relax a tiny bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fantastic, great share, thank you. So look, I mean, I can relate to all of that. You know, myself, I've been just so you know, even though, you know, I'm coaching you guys on these calls each week, I still do this in my everyday life. You know, so my steps, for example, towards my action steps this week regarding passive income was I opened up another a markets account, an exchange traded fund. Why? Because the opportunity presented itself. The S&P 500 fell quite drastically this week, and I thought there was another great opportunity to get into the market, because S&P 500 is never going to go to zero. It's never going to fail. It'll pick up. So I took some steps to open another fund and invest in that. But equally, you know, to Tony's point, I have been working on just trusting in the universe that I will be guided. You know, I think sometimes when we try and manipulate or control situations so much, it's our own undoing effectively. And we just trust, we're grateful for what we have. You know, like Tony was saying, being grateful for the wonderful children that he has and the life that he has. I think some amazing things can happen to us. So, you know, just wanted to share with you guys to say that even though I'm coaching you through this process, I'm still following what I'm preaching, so to speak. Okay, good. Right, Lo.
I want to come in.
Thompson, how did you get on? How have you been feeling?
Yeah, just a quick one. With the way I'm feeling, I would say my way is it's a bit of eye opener, really, because like Tony said, I'm kind of relating more of my lifestyle with Tony. I'm really, really grateful, to be honest, to have all of you now in my life. And having said that, every time I think about what we are doing, I feel a completely different person, and my mindset is changing so fast. And the way I see myself now I'll say a month ago is completely different.
Good.
And I can say 100% that what we are doing is I see it in makes me feel very, very good within myself right now, and I know I'm heading towards the right direction that I wish I have been in a long time. But with this, I think it's a good thing that we are in it and doing this. And I'm feeling very, very, very happy, I would say.
Good.
Yeah, I'm feeling very happy with this, and I can say it's a right way forward. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great share. Thank you, guys. Appreciate your honesty and your openness.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, this week, the art of getting is giving, contribution. And there's a quote that I love, and it says that life gives to the givers and it takes from the takers. And Thompson, when we opened up today's call, we just to sort of catch you up to speed, we said that sometimes when we're looking at growing our wealth, focusing on managing our money, I think a lot of people that look at others that like to be better with money, or, you know, develop businesses to create for themselves and their family and their loved ones to have better lives, better futures, have more money in general. A lot of people can look at those people and judge them and think that they're very kind of self-centered in terms of what they want out of life. But this particular module of this course is quite a short one, but I find it a very powerful one, just to stop, reflect on what we can do. Even if you haven't got a lot of money right now, it's okay. You're building that. You're working towards that. You're getting a lot of structure in your life regarding that.
Yeah.
And it's what we can actually give to others. You know, it's about the more money you have, the more good you can do to help people. And it's not just about money. It's about our time as well. Can we give time to others to help others? Can we give our time just to stop and be patient in a situation to help someone else? or offer our time to talk to someone. How many times do people walk past people begging in the street for money, but how many times do we actually stop and have a quick conversation with those people? Sometimes, yeah, okay, they want a bit of money to help them out, but they also want to be recognized, and just stopping, asking them how they are, how their day's been, or what got them in this situation. Sometimes they just want to talk to someone. So a very important part of this this 6-week course. So look, in your workbooks, what I want you to do today, if you've got your workbook in front of you or a piece of paper, I just want you to spend 1 minute writing down your intention for today's module, given that we are talking about giving and contributing. So just take 1 minute to do that, please. And when you've done, just let me know.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, I'm the last one this time.
Normally Tony is the first out. First out. Yep, done it.
This is a complicated one for me.
Okay, mate, take your time, no rush.
No, I've written it down just in basic form there.
Okay, Thompson, let's hear from you first.
It's regarding giving, why you want to give, right?
Yep. What do you want to get out of today's session? What's your intention for today?
Yeah, my intention is to be able to give to the Salvation Army.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned Salvation Army and the Red Cross. I do have some a direct debit that I've set up for the Salvation Army and the Red Cross. Just due to the fact that sometimes I feel like they are the people, when anybody who is in trouble or any sort of trouble, and they turn to them, they seems to be helping everybody.
Yeah.
So I haven't fortunately, I haven't got into that situation myself, but I know people around me have been into a situation whereby they turn to them and instantly they get help. So one day I was working on actually I went to a supermarket and I saw them, one approached me and they talked to me about all the good things they've been doing. And so I signed up, and since then I've been giving £10 a month to these people. And I know they've been using those money for a good work. So that's why I like to give money to them.
Well done.
And the fact that I can't go on the street giving money to everybody, I know they are there. If they need help to go to these people, they'll be able to help them. So
yeah, very good.
That's why I do that. Yeah.
It's great. It's great knowing that you're already doing that. You're already giving. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing there, Thompson. Doesn't matter about the money. It could be 50 pence, a pound, a dollar, whatever. Yeah. For me, it's the act of giving, which is most important. So very good. Diana.
For me, my intention is to get a better idea on the different ways of giving others that there are. Because usually when we think about giving charity and things, we just think about money or physical objects. But of course, there are so many other things that we can do, and I hope to have a better whole idea after this session.
Okay, that's great. Great, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Tony?
You know, where you focus your attention, manifestation increases. And I sometimes don't focus on this one often enough. I'm too selfish or something. But I do have a dream in the Philippines. I love the Philippines. It's just magic.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, most people there live a subsistence life. And okay, most of the time they got 3 light meals of rice and fish a day. But sometimes, you know, they go without too. And I have fallen in love with the Philippines and the people, and I particularly want to help women and children because it's a very male-dominated society as well. Men seem to be able to cope a lot better and manage, and women there are, and children are considered, well, what's the term? They're used. And I want some sort of school or something to provide not just for their basic needs, but to fill their heads with possibilities.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Tony. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, but, you know, this is something I feel very passionate about. I know that from my time living in Perth, I spent quite a bit of time in Bali, and there's a particular charity that I've become associated with. And okay, yeah, at the moment for me, it's giving a certain amount of money each month to this charity that helps. They're not necessarily orphans, the children that go there, but they support the local community and the family, because some of these families in Bali don't have a lot of money. They don't have the time either to, you know, because they've got to go out and work and they've got to try and find money to support their families. So this organization exists to help children. And one of the things I've been thinking about doing as well, certainly when I, you know, move back closer to Bali, and when I'm able to fly across for a week or 2 weeks, is exactly what Tony just said there, you know, helping, not necessarily developing or building another school, but helping educate these kids in terms of the structure of their life, or helping them to think about how they can be self-sufficient and help their communities. So it's something very, you know, very dear to my heart as well. So thank you guys. Thank you for sharing that. Some wonderful intentions. Okay, so contribution. Let's get on to it. You know, if you remember back to one of the earlier modules, we looked at the money management section, and one of your accounts is the Give account. And why do we have a Give account? Why do we set that up? Why do we want to contribute? Well, a couple of things I wrote down here in terms of why we want to contribute. Number one, it feels good. It's been scientifically proven to increase our happiness. You know, in the studies into this, the happiness created by giving has been shown to last much longer, knowing that we're helping. You know, it's that actual feeling of happiness stays with us longer than any other source of happiness. And the second one on there is, I believe that it's our duty to try and help others. You know, it's a difficult one really, because if you say it's your duty to help others, I don't want to feel like anybody's forced into doing this. You can only do it when you can do it, when you're in a situation. Remember we spoke last week where we said, I gave that analogy of being on an aircraft, and when they're going through the safety checks, they talk about the masks coming down, and that if you've got a child with you, you should put your own mask on first to be able to help your child. And naturally, as a parent, you'd want to help your child first. But I think in order to help others, you've got to be in a strong position yourself. You know, you've got to be in a strong position to effectively go out and help others. So you've got to focus on yourself first. And it's not being selfish, it's just building a strong foundation for you to then actually move forward and help others. But, you know, maybe you, and why I say I think it's our duty to help others, maybe you were in need and others helped you once in your life. I know I've been helped many, many times by parents, friends, people that I've not even known. And maybe you're still in a position where you're receiving help, and that's fine, that's okay. But when you are in a position to help others, I honestly believe it's our duty to effectively send the elevator down and help others come back up. It's much easier to pull people up from the top than pushing them up from the bottom. There's I heard somebody, a mentor that I kind of follow, he said to me, you can't help the poor by being one of them. Now, I don't strictly agree with that, but I don't disagree with it. And what I mean by that is you don't have to be rich to go out of your way and help someone. But I understand where he was coming from when he said that. And what he means by that is the more money you have, if money is your tool to help people, the more you can help. So, you know, that's what I kind of read into that. And I just think you connect with your ability to make a difference. You know, you can connect the more you help others, the more you realize what a difference you can make in life. And you can impact, if you can impact enough people through the services and products that you create. Remember, you know, we are all here looking to create businesses. Thompson getting some passive income from renting out a room, or, you know, Tony developing his business in the Philippines, Diana developing your business over in Italy. You know, we're all here trying to develop products to better our own lives, but in the course of doing that, we have the opportunity to then impact on other people's lives in a very positive way. So you've only got to look at certain people in society. Look at Bill Gates and his wife helping with vaccination programs at the moment. You know, people will now live longer because of their foundation that they've set up, purely because he's an extremely wealthy man. But with the more wealth that he's acquired over time, the more help he's been able to provide. Tony Robbins, another fantastic example, in his Feed America program. You know, he literally started that off by himself driving around in a van, giving a few meals and food out on Thanksgiving. And the wealthier he's become, that foundation has turned into being able to feed millions of people each year. And the third one is it provides you more motivation when others are involved in your success. It gives you motivation when others are involved. We all need to find and what I mean by this is we all need to find the why. The greater the why, the bigger the outcome. Find the why bigger than us. It's not about us. Tony had a great one there that I felt a lot of affinity towards. You know, maybe Tony is building his business to earn passive income for himself. Understandable. Same for me. Same for everybody on this call. But there is a true why that Tony has focused on there. And his why is helping women and children, you know, building a school to actually help those kids develop and get a helping hand in life. So it's a very important one. So look, find a why which is greater than you, a why for taking action. And what I want you to do now in your workbooks is just write your why into your workbooks for the next 2 minutes. Sometimes our why is actually more important than our outcome, because outcome and result is one thing. But if you've got a strong enough why, I'm a firm believer that outcome is going to happen. So just have a think now about what your why is for helping someone, helping a community, helping a group of people, whatever it may be. Because if you get the why that will drive you forward, then for me, the outcome is a given. And when you've done that, just let me know and we'll share it with the group.
Okay. Beaches.
He was first this time.
Yes. Tony, you rush this one. You rush it.
No, I don't.
I've done it.
All this stuff.
I've done it too.
Okay. Thompson, nearly there?
Yeah, I have. I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. Let's give the Speed King his opportunity to go first. Tony?
Okay. The why is okay. It feels great to give. I mean, you put a smile on someone else's face, and that's just a wonderful experience. So, but you already covered that one. But and I've just been completely honest. I have this enormous desire to be loved and admired, and that's part of who I am, and that is what I seek. I seek it, you know, like with an individual woman. I seek it from my children, family, from my friends, from the community, from the world at large, from the universe.
That's good. Thank you for being honest and sharing that, Tony, because I think, you know, whenever we do these things, if we strip it back, we all have our own, and I use the word selfish. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but I think we all have our own selfish reasons for doing this. You know, when I say selfish, what I mean is why it's important to us in particular, why we do these things. So, you know, one of the points you touched on there is you know, you said being loved, and what was the other word you said?
Loved and admired.
Admired, yeah, admired. I think we all would like to be admired for the good things that we do for others. I think that's a very honest assessment of why, you know, sometimes we do these things. For some other people, it might not be important to them, but for some people, it is important. So thank you for sharing that. Diana, what's your why?
My why is to really help my area in Italy, but this comes before because I've been here in UK in London for 6 years, and every time that I was here, and the sky was grey, and you know, was a hard life and everything, and then when I come back to Italy in my area, and it was like a paradise, like it was sunny all the times. It was quiet. So I was every time that I went out with my friends, they always says like they are here, there's no work, the situation is bad financially and things like that. So I always thought, why in London, where the city is beautiful, hard, the sky, whatever, but there is money, there is a lot. And I thought, why in my area, which is so beautiful, so perfect, so paradise, why there's no money? So at the end, I said, I want to do something for my area. And actually, for this, a few months ago, I was starting and look for some restaurants for my first retreat. And the owner of the restaurant, when I was going away, he shook my hand and said, thank you very much for this, because we really need this.
Right.
So in that moment, I feel very proud of what I'm doing, and I know that one is my why.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You're effectively, you know, the way I see it is that you're creating opportunity and jobs and a lot of fulfillment. A lot of people in your community that don't have that right now, right? So,
yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Thompson.
Thank you.
Yeah. My why is, for me, I think it makes fulfillment. You know, when you give, particularly when I give to somebody and before I give to somebody, for some reason, I will be kind of monitoring the situation for a while, and then when I give, the reaction that you get back is unbelievable. You feel complete. I think that's how the way I would say it. You feel complete. And that, by giving, motivates you to raise yourself to a standard that you should be in position to be giving when you know someone is really in need. And
yeah, that's powerful.
For some time, when I go out with my kids, like we're walking on the pavement, we will see people sitting there, asking for money or playing some instrument like basking and all that stuff. My kids will always run to me and say, "Daddy, give me money. I want to give it to this person." So I'll ask them, "Why do you want to give them money?" And then they'll say, "Daddy, he wants it. That's why he's here, isn't it?" Then I'll say, "Okay, take and go and give it to them." So I will wait behind them and see them give the money, and the person will say thank you, and how my kids will be so overwhelmed with joy and run back to me makes me feel I must work hard, I must get money, I must be in position to be able to help anybody who is in need, because it makes you feel complete.
Yeah,
that's why I give. Yeah,
great. Thank you for that, Thompson. Some fantastic whys there.
Yeah,
really, really. And one thing I'm learning through today's session is what a wonderful group of people you guys are. Seriously, your whys are very, very strong, and it makes me feel very privileged to be part of this group with you. As I said, I know that I'm, taking you through this journey, this coaching process, and maybe some things, and hopefully some things that I'm saying are really helping you, move forward and making just realize certain things.
Tony, can I say something? Then you can finish that. Ray, sorry, there's something I want to say. I don't want to say it before, but I think it will be good to share with this group. In my area where I live, sometimes when I'm out, a mail deliverer will come and deliver, and then I might come home and I'll find a leaflet to say my delivery is on the next door. But when I order, I'll never normally say something, give it to the next door, anything like that. So this summer, we've been on holiday. I went on holiday with my kids. So when I went to collect this mail from my neighbor, and then she said, "Oh, they deliver, but you're not." So I told her, "We've been away, that's why." And she said, "Oh, where have we been?" Anyway, I told her where we went, and she said, "Oh, I've never been able to go anywhere with my kids since they were born." And she's got a couple of kids. And having said that to me, it makes me nearly paralyzed, because I feel so bad about it. I was like, "Wow, really?" Well, I've been thinking and deliberating about that for some time. So I had a chat with my little boy one day, and I said, "Look, I want to do something for this woman, yeah?" And I asked him, because he was asking me to buy some console for him. My boys were asking for some console. So I said to them, "I've been saving some money, but now I've got enough money. I can buy the console, but I'm thinking of giving some money to these neighbors as well. What do they think?" So we talk about it, and they say, "Look, the other one said, Daddy, I prefer if we give some money to these neighbors." And I said, "Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much for."
Wow, that's amazing.
So what I did was I packed some of their old clothes, which, it's new. I bought it, but they've never used it until they grow out of it. And this woman's got some little kids. So we went into the room wardrobe and get everything out and pack it in a bag. And I put some money. Actually, I put £100 in envelope and put it in a bag of clothes, and then say, go and give it to the next door neighbor. I didn't go personally, because I don't know how to do things like this, because it's the neighborhood.
Sure.
So I gave it to the little boy to knock the door and give it. When he got there, the woman wasn't at home, but her big daughter was at home, and he gave everything to the daughter. But when he came back, I says that the woman wasn't at home, but I gave it to the daughter. But then I was like, the daughter is a teenager. If she saw this money now, she's not going to take it and spend it without telling the mom. I don't know. But anyway, I said, well, this is what we have to do. That's what you are supposed to do. That's fine. Let's forget about it. And so we were home. About an hour and a half or two later, the doorbell rings, and we went to the door, and this woman was completely overwhelmed with. I don't know what word to use. She was crying and at the same time happy, and she was like, "Nobody ever in my life has ever done such thing for me before. Why did you do this to me? What do you want me to use the money for?" I said, "The money is for you to spend how you want it." And she was like, "Oh," she was crying. She doesn't know what to do, and I literally have to run away because I feel so. I don't know. I feel so overwhelmed. I like, oh, I didn't know she would feel that happy, you know.
Yeah.
So things like this, even now, it makes it even more harder for me. I'm looking everywhere, every means to be able to succeed.
That's a
Because, yeah,
it's a fantastic
Yeah.
story, Thompson. It's amazing. Seriously,
Yeah.
it just goes back to the point I was just going to say that I feel I feel grateful being part of this group, this journey with you, because to be around such giving individuals, you know, that story just completely sums up every kind of, you know, feeling that I have right now. You can't see it, but you telling that story put a massive smile on my face.
Mm.
You know, amazing story. Thank you. I feel, you know, humbled to be part of this group and listening to these stories and what you guys are looking to achieve, not just for yourselves but for others around you. Very special. Thank you. Okay, so look, we're going to do a contribution exercise now, but before we do so, if you've got your workbook in front of you, it's on page 2. But before we do that, I just want you to close your eyes. We're just going to do a little visualization technique for about a minute and a half. So please close your eyes. And before we go into this written technique, this written exercise, I just want you to imagine you've reached financial freedom. Your passive income is now greater than your expenses. Your focus now moves towards helping others. With your newfound time freedom and the money you have, I know we've discussed it briefly today, but really think about who do you want to help? I know Diana said about communities, you know. I know Tony said about women and children, and Thompson was talking about the Salvation Army. You know, drill down into it a little bit more. Feel the feelings of how you're going to feel when you're actually doing that. Is it going to be a charity? Could you expand it? Could it be maybe a friend? Thompson talked about his neighbor that he's helped out. Wonderful story. And how will it feel when you're giving and contributing on a regular basis? So I want you to open your eyes and, using your workbook or a piece of paper in front of you, I want you to write down the following. I want you to write down who you want to help. I want you to list at least one particular person or a group or a charity, a community. I want you to write down why you want to help them. There may be someone particular in your life right now that you know of, that you've been thinking about helping, but never got around to it for whatever reason. Maybe now's the time to, you know, write down why you want to help that person. And I want you to write how it's going to make you feel when you're helping this particular person or the group of people or community. So just spend the next 3 minutes doing that exercise, and when you've done, just let me know and we'll go through it.
Done.
Yes.
Honestly, like, all this stuff now is what I'm learning through you, Richard, is like it's revision. It's helping cement a lot of things. It's stuff I've been working on for the last couple of years, and I feel like certain things are coming to fruition. You know, or the foundations are being laid.
That's good. And now the thing is, now Tony, you just got to keep on top of it, right? Repetition, mother of skill. Just got to keep doing it. And I know I said at the beginning of this journey that there'll be a couple of spots for me to do some personal work with people. But if you guys are okay with it, I'd love to be able to continue to work with you on an ongoing basis. So maybe we can schedule some time together where I can work with you one-on-one, maybe once a week for a month, and we can actually focus on you in terms of your goals, what you want, so I can help you with that.
Big thumbs up.
Me too.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's no problem about that at all. Be my pleasure.
Right.
I'll be forever in your debt.
No, it's not about debt. It's about helping.
I know. I know where you're coming from. I'll do the same for others.
Good man.
I do.
Ready.
Ready, me too, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Diana, let's start with you.
Yeah. Well, in this moment, there are in particular 3 people that I think about. First of all is a friend of mine who I know since when I was 15 years old. Is an artist, and in this moment he is doing pictures. These are the professional pictures that I'm using for my website. And I want to help him because he is not working properly in his field. So I want to be able to pay him regularly thanks to my business. The second one is my friend from school, Lucy, because she's helping me with the blog of my website because she can write in English. But again, I want to give her, I'm paying her, but very, very few now because my business is not on yet. So I want to give her a monthly payment. And the third one is actually a sister of my friend, because just a few weeks ago I learned that she is not working, and this is bringing her to some kind of depression, but like that she doesn't feel she's useful. So yeah, these are the 3 people.
And the sister of your friend, I mean, thank you for sharing that. What some wonderful ideas to help and contribute, not just to the wider community, but particular individuals. What do you think you can help your sister's friend with in terms of her feeling fulfilled?
By giving her some work for my business, because she's a graphic designer. But the thing is that because I have been treated like that, because I know that if you give a job to a person, and in that moment that person feels like that she doesn't know if she can do that, you have to give them that person plenty of trust, because she will get there, but she just needs time. So I know that at the first time she might feel like I can't do that, or I don't know how to do that. Yeah. But as long as you give her trust and time, she will get there. So I want her to feel like that she's useful, because from that on she can go by herself. But of course she needs someone to help her this way.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Tony.
Okay, I wrote down 2 basic things. One's more sort of personal and direct to me. Mm-hmm. I've got a lovely lady friend in the Philippines. I'm going to call her my girlfriend now because things have changed in this last week. Prior to this last several days, I saw her as a plaything.
Okay.
She's 25, 4'9", 35 kilos, tiny little, sweet little lady. Mm-hmm. But today not today, but just in the last several days, things changed, and maybe she'll be more than enough. I won't have to have other playthings. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But the thing is to provide her, to improve her life and provide her with her own income, which I've established with her. She runs the juice bar, and you know, so she's developing a little bit of independence, and the feelings she has for me just feel wonderful. And you know, I want to do other things to help improve her life. And am I getting off the track? I'm not sure.
No, keep going. Seriously, no, you're expressing. You know, you.
Yeah, look, I'm beginning to think that this lady could just be the real thing, and I haven't come from that place initially. You know, I haven't. The more I'm sort of just giving her the opportunity to improve her life. I'm not sort of giving her stuff, you know, and she's just coming back with so much love and appreciation and affection, and she's just hung in there when I've just treated her like a plaything for the last 4 or 5 months since I was last there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's making me feel good. And I had to shed a load about my previous lover over there, who I was madly in love with, desperately in love with. And I've shed that in the last week. Mm-hmm. And that's helped a lot. Anyway, and the community. The community, what I've always had this dream since I first started going to the Philippines, was to set up a community where people learn to develop themselves. And I see this community as being eventually self-funded and an actual business that makes money. Like, it won't keep draining my pocket. And then those people will go out and contribute and maybe do the same thing in their own way for the rest of the community.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Okay,
with that.
thanks, Tony. And look, you know, thank you for your honesty. I think honesty is always the best policy. As tough as it is, one of my values that I have in my life is being honest with myself, honest with others. You know, even when times are tough, right? When we have to say some home truths. But your honesty in that moment, Tony. And look, you know, your life is your life. Whatever you do. I just want you to know that I personally appreciate you sharing and being honest and telling us about, you know, your life, your history, and where you are now, and through that journey that you've been on and still are on.
Well, I've had to be incredibly honest with myself and get rid of the bullshit stories that I've told myself for 57, 58 years, you know?
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thompson.
Hi.
Who are you going to be helping? Why and how you feel?
How I feel and why. To be honest, there's this thing that's in my heart. Long time ago, I don't normally feel or maybe think about anything regarding single parents until recent, with my own situation, that I have to kind of separate from my wife for some time now. And having been on my own for a while, looking after my kids, my thoughts and thinking now get more stronger with people like people with no partners, single parents.
Okay.
If I got an opportunity to organize or set up something up, these are the group I would like to set up or do something with.
Yeah.
Just for the sense that I'm sure there are a lot of people out there, like in my situation, who will need some sort of help or some sort of contribution in their life to be able to get on and do something for themselves. But because of we are all kind of one-man band kind of behavior and lifestyle that we are all living, people are stuck
Mm-hmm.
They can't move on to do anything just because they have to care for kids and have to care for kids. But there could be a way that we could do that. And I'm looking at that all the time. I'm looking around, I'm looking at people, and I'm looking at my own situation. I know there are people out there that will need help, or if something like this could happen, or some sort of organizational grouping or something like that, just to make people come together to be able to help each other.
I understand.
And
I understand.
And also,
sorry, Tony, go on.
And also, I would like to help young people to empower them, also to give them some sort of encouragement and ideas that their life needs to be spent wisely rather than wasted. Because there are a lot of young people out there, they are lost. They don't know exactly what their life is worth.
Yeah, you're right. Very, very.
Yeah, if that could be done, I'll be more than happy to help. When I find myself in a situation where I can help, these are the people I want to involve into.
Okay.
My mid.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that share. I think it's a very interesting one, that, you know, especially when you've come from a place where you've had an experience which is clearly very painful when you've separated with someone and you're a single parent, to actually establish some form of community group where you can all discuss your experiences, your feelings, and almost like a support group for each other, whether it be for childcare or you know, just someone to talk to. I think it's very powerful. I find a lot of affinity with what you're saying about young people, you know, helping focus in. Now, when you think of, you know, a child, not a child, but a teenager or a young adult, when they think about things like the future, old age, it's so far from their minds.
Yeah.
They don't bother about it. And I was listening to something the other day, and it was a very poignant point where they talked about pensions, for example. Not a sexy or exciting subject, but, you know, something very practical and real as you get older in life. And they said, you know, pensions are something that young people just don't even consider until, you know, and people don't really, sadly, a lot of people don't really consider those things until later on in life, when it's, for some people, too late. So to even educate people, what we're doing now, right? We're educating ourselves in terms of money management, growing wealth, and helping ourselves to be comfortable later on in life. First, we've got to be a little bit uncomfortable, go through this process to be comfortable, but to be able to give that wisdom, that information to, you know, young people, I think is very valuable and a tremendous example of giving. You know, we talk about, Diana mentioned in her intention earlier about other ways other than money to give, to contribute. And for me, doing these types of things, you know, setting up a community, it doesn't have to be a huge amount of people. When we think about communities and groups, I think initially we think, oh, you know, 25, 30 plus people. It doesn't have to be that. It can start with you and another person. And then that other person knows someone else and they bring them into the group, and that other person knows someone else and then it grows. You know? And then you start to form a structure. And maybe when we do our one-on-one stuff together, guys, that'll be something you'll want to work on with me. I can give you ideas. But thank you for that, Thompson. Okay, right, let's moving on. Thank you for your shares, guys. Forms of giving. What I've got here, it's important to remember that if you can't give your money at this point in your journey of giving, you can always give your time. Okay, very, very important to remember that. Sometimes giving your time can equally be, if not more, rewarding. So the good thing is that you have your 6 accounts in your money management system to help you manage your money. And using this system, you'll be able to grow your give account by separating your funds, your active income that comes in, even if it's a small amount each month, even if you're putting $5 in there, even if you're putting £5 in there, €5, whatever it may be, that is going to grow. And at some point, you'll be able to give that money. Like Thompson gives his example of £10 a month to the Salvation Army. wonderful thing to do. But equally, if it's not about money, there's so many other things that we can do to help others. So look, what I want you to do is turn to your piece of paper or your workbooks. I just want you to now write your first 3 actions for contributing, either with your give account, so money, or your time. Okay, we're going to spend the next 2 minutes just going through actions. And these actions, they need to be simple. They need to be doable. Don't make them so big that you're going to trip over them. It's going to make it difficult for you to achieve. So some examples of where you can give your time to contributing and helping others. You can organize a fundraising event, or like Thompson has just spoken about, you know, start to try and get a few people interested in coming together to form a community, a support group where you can talk about your experience as single parents, the problems you're having, or how you can help each other out. Another way is you might want to contact someone at an organization to help. Something I did whilst I was in Australia, the care home that my father was in, you know, I experienced such wonderful people there that helped him. I gave my time. I contacted them after my father was there, and I said, look, you know, you guys have been so wonderful. I'd like to give back in some way. And for me, all it was spending an hour, 2 hours, walking around, speaking with a particular person in that care home, because they didn't have anybody. You know, they were sat there all day watching TV, rarely went out. And all I wanted to do was be able to say thank you to the organization that helped my father. So, you know, doing something like that, contact the organization and find out where you can slot in to offer your help. Or you can offer your skills at a workshop for free to those in need. Let's not forget, each and every one of you on this call today is skilled in a particular area of your life. It may not be that apparent to you, the skills you have, but when you take some time to sit down and find out and write a list, right, what am I good at? What am I passionate about? You know, what has my life experiences taught me? You can actually go to an organization, for example, if we're talking about helping kids, helping the young develop, you know, every single person on this call has got a wealth of experience, life experience, that you can spend some time educating the youth of today. Because I think, you know, without getting off topic, there's a lot of misguided youth in the world at the moment. So there's some examples, and there's some first 3 action examples regarding money. Well, the first one is you can research a charity you have an affinity with, something that, you know, means a lot to you, and you can have a look at what they stand for. What do they do with that money? How is it spent? Or you can contact the charity to find out their bank details or what they require. You know, it may not be that they want money transferred. They may want clothing, for example, that you could potentially send to them. And the third action is you could transfer the money to their account if it's money you're going to be giving, or you could buy, or as Thompson did, you know, went through some old clothes, some children's clothes, packaged them up and gave them to his neighbor. You could do the same. There's a wonderful organization that each Christmas, this is something my family and I did when I was back living in Australia. Every Christmas, every Easter, we would get a shoebox and we would fill it with items for children in various countries throughout the world that lived in very poor countries, deprived areas, underdeveloped countries. And we would put things in there like toys. So it might be a toy car, might be a bouncy ball, pencils, pens, writing paper. You know, we take for granted the pieces of paper that we have in front of us now. We forget that in some places, they don't even have paper to write on, to draw on. So we would fill it with items like that, and we would send it across to this organization, and they would distribute it throughout the world. So, you know, some really good examples of how you can spend your money on certain things to distribute. So look, just spend the next 2 minutes writing down. You'll see on one of the pages there, you've got it split up to time and money. And there are 3 particular parts that you can write down, whether you're going to be giving time, whether you're going to be giving money. Just write down your first 3 action steps towards contributing.
Done.
Good man. Who's next?
Done.
Excellent.
Uh,
You done as well, Thompson?
yes.
Okay, let's start with Tony.
Okay. First one, just assist when a friend needs help. Now, if a friend asks me to help move his house or whatever, I always say yeah, but I can show a reluctance. But I still go and help. But I just mean, just get past that reluctance. Just put a smile on my face and just go, yeah, I'd love to. Secondly, words of encouragement. I quite often in my life, when someone has been really sincere and heartfelt, given me words of encouragement, it has inspired me. It has lifted me. And even if it didn't achieve any great results then, going back through my history, it's having results now.
Yeah.
So that is something, real heartfelt encouragement to people. Just rather than just say, yeah, thanks, mate, just say, hey, I really appreciate what you've done for me. You know, just take it to that next level without getting all soppy and everything, depending on the situation. Yeah, I'm going to set up something with my charity account that at least some of it comes out automatically each fortnight and goes to something that I feel is of value.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Tony. It's interesting, that second point you made. I think we underestimate that, right? Just words.
Yeah.
Words of encouragement. Yeah.
Words are very important to me. Go to Tony Bishop YouTube. I've got 2 pieces on there now, and I think they're both honest and encouraging. One's mine, written by me. The other is a piece of Shakespeare. I'm working on a 3rd piece.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
We'll take a look. I'm definitely going to take a look afterwards. Thank you for sharing that, Tony. Diana?
Thank you. For me, actually, the first one is something that I'm already doing these days, because I'm dancing for a human rights festival for free. I'm volunteering, basically.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's well, I'm a former professional dancer, and my choreographer asked me to dance to this festival because she's organizing this festival. And I danced yesterday, and I will next Saturday. And all this festival is by donation, so people will donate, and this one goes all to the charity for the human traffics. And we have been treating strong matters, strong subjects like human trafficking and things very strong like that. So yeah, yesterday we danced, and basically for this reason as well, I've been so busy this week, and I will next week as well, because we have rehearsal, and of course this is all time for free, but it's all directed to the event, basically to the festival. The second one is something that I already started with my friend, because my photographer friend, because as I said, I can't really pay him properly now, so I'm every time that he needs, because he does his pictures, and below that he wants to explain, or he put, because he's a poet as well, so he puts some poems or something that he writes, and of course it's in Italian, and he would like it to be translated in English. So what I do is I take this text and I translate all the times in English, so that she has the two versions and she can post it online. And the third thing which I still didn't start, and I'm thinking to do this, is to give my other friend, a girl who's helping me with my blog, my website, to give her another task, again for my website, but with payment. So it's, for me, it's a contribution, because it's something that I shouldn't be doing now, because it's not essential now for my business. But I know that it's a good thing for her in terms of getting started. So I want to do that, because it's it's something that will help us both at the end of the day. So,
and it's something important to you, right? I can sense that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Diana, because you've just given me ideas for the type of charity that I want to invest my money in, and that's human trafficking of children and women.
Fantastic. Yeah, definitely.
There you go. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony, for that as well. Thank you, Dee.
Thank you.
Thompson?
Yeah. With my contribution, my
Just your action steps. Yeah.
my action steps is I've been doing it, but then I think I wasn't paying attention that it's really a contribution that I've been doing, really, because sometimes my kids' friends, who, like, the parents will ask me, "Oh, please, can you, when you're going to pick your children from school, can you pick mine for me and keep them for a certain amount of time before they will come and collect them?" And I've been doing this for a very, very long time now. Yep. And I think that's my time that I've been giving to these people, helping them also to do whatever they want to do. Some people are even husband and wife, but both of them might be working and they can't come back and pick their kids. So I will go and fit in for them, take the kids home, and when they are ready, they finish work, they come and pick them up.
Sure.
And vice versa. Sometimes they do it for me, but not. They will say, "Okay, can you let your kids come to our house and play with our kids for some time?" And with that, I'll get some time for myself as well. So I think these are the contributions I think I give my time to. And as well, and when I look in my area, there are some old couples next door, not next door, but the opposite of my house. Sometimes I help them lawn their grass for them. I cut the grass for them.
That's good, yeah.
So I help them by doing that for them, and they appreciate it a lot. And it fulfills me. I feel happy by helping people like that. In the nutshell, what I do is I kind of like helping people that I know they need. They will appreciate it. So I kind of look into them and say, "Look, this person might need this help." Then I offer them. If they say yes, then I go and do it for them.
Yeah, lovely.
So that's how I spend my time helping people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good man. Thank you for that. Thank you. Some really great ideas there. Some really great action steps. All clearly very doable. So now, what I want to come on to is the process of gratitude. I don't know. This is this is the last thing that we're going to finish on today. Something that you guys can take away. If you can't see it now, it'll be on the screen in a second. But if you can't see it in your workbooks, if you haven't got your workbooks in there, I'd encourage you to click onto the email that I sent you and download it, because what we're about to see on screen is in the actual workbook, and it's a process of gratitude each morning and each evening. It doesn't take a lot of time, but I think it can really help us focus in on what we're actually grateful for in our lives. And I'm a true believer that the more, it's about energy, right? Energy never dies. It's always converted. I'm a big believer that the people with the most energy kind of win in life, because people are attracted to them. You attract so many good things into your life. Equally, at times when we have negative energy, we can attract bad things into our lives. We can manifest that. So we want to try and keep our energy levels high and positivity. And part of the gratitude process helps that, I think. And I think the more we focus on the good things that we have in our life, the more good things show up in our lives that we are or can be grateful for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a process that I want you to try and get used to doing. You can do it every day if you want to. For that, you can do it every so often. It doesn't have to be so regimental as every day. But what I'd like you to do as part of the action steps this week is just to try and do it every day for 7 days. Just to begin with, just to get you into that good habit of doing this. Then you can slot it into your life wherever you want to, whenever you want to. So every morning, the first thing I want you to do is to set a goal, okay, in terms of the gratitude process. Now, I'm going to leave that to you. It could be anything. It could be absolutely anything. It could be helping others. It could be, focusing on passive income. It could be anything. And then what I want you to do is ask yourselves, what am I willing to give to others today? Each day, what am I willing to give to others? It could be your time. It could be just stopping, having a conversation with someone. It could be a multitude of things. Like Tony said, go and help his mate move. Anything you like, but think about what you're willing to give to others today. Even your words, right? Tony touched on something really, really important. Your words. Words are very, very powerful. They have the power to destroy or, completely uplift someone.
Words are vibration.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree with that, Tony. And then 3 and 4 here. Number 3, what are 10 things that I'm most grateful for right now in my life? I think it's very important to grab hold of that, because in this environment, this culture that we live amongst, we are very quick to focus on the things we don't have, because we see so many other people with this, with that, reality TV, and we kind of get away from the things that we do have. For me, I'm very much massive into simple pleasures. That's my thing. If I can go for a run, if I can go out on my bike, if I can go for a walk on the beach, sit down and have a coffee, have a chat with I know it sounds corny, but it's true for me personally. I've got some other things in my life that are really lovely that other people outward looking in would say, wow, that guy's lucky. But for me, the things I'm really grateful for are my family, the sort of time freedom that I have in my life. So I think sometimes we can forget about all these little things in our lives. So I'd encourage you to write down 10 things that are most important to you right now, each day. And then number 4, what do I value that another person does for me? That's a big one, right? Tony mentioned earlier about his relationship with this young lady in the Philippines. And through the process that he's been going through this week, he's realized a lot about the value that woman adds to his life, does for him right now. It could be your relationship with a partner. It could be a relationship with a friend. But what is it? What do you value that someone else is doing for you right now? And finally, what am I happy about right now? You've all got things going on in your life. For me right now, I'm really happy to be part of this group. I'm really happy to be coaching you guys through this process, because not only are you guys learning, I'm learning as well. I'm developing, I'm growing. So that's one thing that I'm really, really happy about. So try and focus in on some things that make you happy. And then every evening, I want you to reflect upon your day. Did I accomplish my goal today? And what I would encourage you to do is, if you want to make one goal, really focus in on it and try and complete it. Remember, we spoke last week about taking massive action. Take massive action to complete that one goal. I sometimes set too many goals during the day and I don't complete it. And that leaves me with a sense of, a lack of accomplishment. Even if I, set 6 goals and I do 2 of them, I've still done 2 and I should focus in on that. But if I reduce the amount of goals I set myself, maybe do 3 goals maximum, focus in, complete those, take massive action, and then ask yourself at the end of the day, did I accomplish my goal today? And then, what have I done well? What have I done well, increased in value, or got better at today? It could be something like, well, I was a lot more patient with my partner. I was a lot more patient with the people at work. Because if patience is one thing you're working on and you've really sort of focused in on that and you've got better at it, write that down and pay attention to it. Because once you pay attention to it and you focus in on it, where energy goes, results show. And then if I want to be happier, what additional things would I be happy about? Just catch hold of those thoughts, write them down. And I think through that process, that gratitude process, a lot of good will come from that. Okay, so if you haven't got that in front of you right now, please download it. And I ask you, even if it's for the first week, just try and be disciplined and get into the habit of doing it every day. All good?
All good.
Okay, so module 5, summary. We have learned why contributing is so important. You created your own want in terms of who you want to help. And you created your 3 action steps towards contributing, what you're going to be doing. And we've just visited the gratitude process. Very, very simple process, but a very effective process. So this week's action steps. I want you to complete your first action steps for contributing, either with money or with your time. When you've done that, please just drop me a quick email of one of the action steps that you took, how it made you feel, and what your why was in that moment, why you did that. And then I want you to complete your gratitude process for 7 days. Just get into that habit. After that 7 days, if you want to do it once a week, that's fine. So this week's declaration, write it down into your workbook, please. I am a generous giver and an excellent receiver. An example of this would be when someone pays you a compliment, right? Someone pays you a compliment. We, as human beings, nice human beings that we are, we want to throw a compliment back to them because we feel we have to. Sometimes it's actually good just to accept their compliment and not just feel the need to give back a compliment just for the sake of it. So I'm a generous giver and an excellent receiver. If someone gives you a compliment, accept it. Receive. I think sometimes we feel a bit guilty about the other part of that sentence there, the receiving. Some people, it's very difficult for them to receive. So try and open yourselves up to receiving money, receiving compliments, receiving happiness, receiving gratitude in our lives. So write down your weekly reward. Diana had a good one, having a coffee with a friend without feeling guilty, or watching a movie without feeling guilty. That's something I find a lot of affinity with. You know, I've got so many things I'm focused on doing and achieving, but I sometimes forget to reward myself. And for me, it's about simple pleasures, sitting down, having a coffee, reading a magazine. That could be my reward. So decide what your reward is for successfully completing the 3 action steps towards contributing. Once you've done at least one of those action steps, emailing me, informing me of what the action step was, how it made you feel, and the why behind it, and the gratitude process. Write down in your books your reward and your homework. This week's homework, as you know, I'm always going to show you the vision board because I want you guys to do that. You know, you've got one more week to try and gather that together. If you don't do it, you don't do it. But I do genuinely want you, when we start doing the one-on-one coaching, I want you to attempt to do your vision board because it's a very, very powerful tool to use in your life. So this week, I want you to focus back on the financial freedom formula we went through last week. Why? Because if you want to be financially free and improve your wealth, your financial situation, building passive income is a vital part of that. I'm a firm believer that you can't be financially free unless you have an element of passive income in your life. So financial freedom equals when your passive income is greater than your expenses. Thompson's already started doing that. I know Tony's already started doing that as well in terms of the cryptocurrency investments. And Diana's been making some fantastic steps forward in terms of her business as well. But let's really keep that formula in mind, which is FF equals PI, which is greater than E. If I was going to have a tattoo, I think this would be the one that I would have. I'm too scared to have a tattoo, but I'd have that somewhere incorporated. That's for sure. So financial freedom equals passive income greater than your expenses. Keep focused on what your number is. What is your number? And what I mean by that is, have a look through your expense tracker again. Find out what your monthly expenses are, and find out what your passive income number needs to be greater than your expenses. You know, what do you need to earn or clear in passive income to be earning more than your expenses? There's the vision board. There's my one in particular. And as I keep saying, it helps you focus on what you want to be, do, have in your life with your wealth. It can incorporate, some quotes, some motivational quotes. Tony mentioned it earlier. Words are very, very important. Their energy, their vibration. They have the power to, create wonderful things in life, or they have the power to destroy. So try and do that if you get the time. If you can't do it, within the next week, between now and our next coaching call, then I would encourage you to go through it when we do a one-on-one together. But it needs to inspire you. It needs to motivate you. And the purpose is to bring these items on the board into your life. Traditional types of board, again, cutting out, printing bits of paper and cutting out and sticking it on the board. Or there's Pinterest. You can always go to pinterest.com and you can create a virtual board. Next week, it is the final coaching call for our group. And we're going to be going through the 10 rules of wealth. Some very important rules in terms of helping you towards your journey to growing wealth. And let's not forget, wealth is not just about money. Okay. So commitment, if you haven't got your workbook in front of you, please try and print it off and sign your name. Commit to performing your declarations. Commit to performing your 3 actions towards contributing or passive income. And attending next week's call. You guys show up every week. Part of the success process, I would say 80% of achieving anything is just showing up, right? Congratulate yourselves. You're spending part of your weekend, your Sunday, developing, moving forward. Some of these coaching calls, Tony mentioned what he's been going through this week, will bring up some feelings for you. But you're putting yourself through that. You're not ignoring it, and you're making fantastic progress. So sign your name against it and commit to continuing to do it each week. So look, guys, thank you very much for your time today. Congratulations, as always. I personally want to thank you for this week's call, because I actually got a lot out of this week's call. It made me realize a lot of things. Firstly, made me realize what a wonderful bunch of human beings you are for what you're doing. And I don't just say that flippantly. I genuinely mean that. And even after next week's call, when we conclude the 6-week coaching package that we've done, one of my things I want to do for you guys, for your dedication, for your collaborative spirit throughout this course, is I want to continue working with you. I don't want to lose the good work that we've done. I want to work with you on a one-on-one basis, 1 hour a week for a month. And I want you to come with your plan. We'll talk about it. We'll do a discovery call. We'll do a 30-minute discovery call where you tell me where you think I can help you. And we'll start to work on that together. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Okay, much appreciated.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, Diana Thompson, thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Rihanna.
Thank you.
And thank you, Rich.
You're very welcome. Thank you, guys. And if you want to reach out to me, there's my email address. I think most of you have got my telephone number as well, my mobile number. Just send me a message or give me a call.
Thanks, mate.
Pleasure,
See you
guys.
next week.
Take care and have a great week.
And you.
Thank you. You too. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Rihanna.